For the last 50 years, Microsoft has been empowering developers.
100 million Windows users. Good morning.
We have reduced the time to build AI applications by 50%.
When a customer comes to us to buy a vehicle, AI helps serve all that information up at the right time.
This truly is a new era for the legal industry.
Microsoft Fabric brings our data together in a single cohesive stack.
We created Hoppy-in agentic AI assistant.
Now, through the transformational power of AI with GitHub Copilot, Visual Studio Code, and Azure AI Foundry, every developer has the power to shape the future. From cloud to client, the data center to Windows.
Copilot changed the way that we work.
We take advantage of the latest and greatest models through Azure OpenAI.
We're unlocking the full potential of agentic AI.
There aren't very many arenas that account for the art of hearing.
Most of the heavy lifting, writing the boilerplate, was just done. AI will help us change the world quicker.
And we're just getting started.
Please welcome Executive Vice President CoreAI, Jay Parikh.
Good morning, everyone. How was day one? Yeah, that's awesome. All right, well, welcome to day two. My name's Jay, and I support the new CoreAI team here at Microsoft. This is my very first build, so it's great to be here with you all. Now, I'm excited because I've spent a lot of time in my career building infra, tools, platform for developers. Soon after I started Microsoft last year, Satya and I were chatting, and we were discussing what it would take to reimagine the end-to-end developer experience for this new era of AI applications. Now, with this in mind, we formed the CoreAI team to focus on empowering every developer to shape the future with AI. Now, this is a big, ambitious vision, and we have a lot of work to do. But there are three principles that guide us. First is that we need to force ourselves to use AI-driven tools and platform instead of just AI-assisted experiences. And we need to transform the entire development experience, not just a part of it. And finally, we need to continue to embrace openness and choice, given how fast the landscape of AI is changing around us. Based on these principles, today we're going to show you a complete set of AI-powered tools for building on top of a full-stack agent factory with security and trust baked right in, extending from the cloud to the edge. Now, we're focused on this because we want these tools and this factory to bring back joy in building and operating your new age of AI applications. We're going to make it easier for you to build. We're going to make it easier for you to test, for you to deploy, and for you to monitor your applications. We want to help you modernize your applications, and we also want to help burn down tech debt. Now, why is this important to us? Because as builders, our most precious resource is time, and we want to give you time back. So, as I tell our team, show more, talk less. Now, as an engineer, I want to get in and start to understand how to use these tools. So, I'm going to jump right in here to Copilot. And first thing I'm going to do is pop into immersive experience. Now, as a new member of the team, well, let's start off with just something basic that we all know how to do. So we want to see how Copilot is going to help me ramp up in this new application. And I'm a new member of the team, and I'm trying to learn context about what this build events demo is that we're going to be using throughout the course of the day. Now, this is what Copilot returned. It's pretty basic. I think we can do a little bit better. So I'm going to ask Copilot to help me out here. Now, Copilot is going to take this. I asked it to open up a PR so that maybe when a new engineer joins the team, it can actually, Copilot can actually help create a new README file with instructions that actually help me understand the code, understand the application, but also provide setup instructions. So Copilot got to work here, and I'm going to click on this to show you what it started to work on here. So here's the new request that it's working on. You can see that Copilot started work on behalf of me. Now it's going to take some time to go pull this together. So this was helpful, and it's a fast way for me to ramp up as being a new person in the team. But let's dive into our tools a little bit more so that we can show you how to take these tools so that we can develop faster. And for that, I want to welcome my colleague, Jessica. Hey,
Jay.
Jessica.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, you?
Doing great.
Ready
Hi,
to get
everyone.
going?
Yeah, ready to do some stuff, yep. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jessica, and I'm a developer, which mostly means I spend a lot of time asking myself, who broke this? And then realizing it was me. Okay, I'm in VS Code, and with the GitHub extension, I've got all my issues and PRs right here in the editor, which is great until someone decides that I'm the expert and creates the kind of issue that looks simple until it most definitely is not. So let's do what every good developer does with a long backlog. You're absolutely right. Immediately look for something we can pawn off. All right, first up, we have input validation. What do you think, Jay?
No.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, I'm going to have to escalate this to not me. Copilot, you're up. I believe in you. You love boring things. All right, next, type hints.
Also no.
Yeah, nothing says I trust no one like explaining every argument and return value in painful detail. Hard pass. Again, I'm going to let Copilot take this one. It lives for this kind of thing. All right, next, to-do comments. Seriously?
Oh, boy.
I feel personally attacked. Who opened this? Oh, told you I break things. It was me. Yep, Copilot, my trusty sidekick, go fulfill past me's empty promises. So yeah, instead of spending the rest of this keynote writing boilerplate validation and chasing down old to-dos, I can let GitHub Copilot coding agent handle the stuff that drains my will to code and actually focus on real product work like this one. Updating the mic icon with a new design from Figma. I'll just click this arrow here that'll self-assign me to the issue, and it'll allow me to start work on a local branch. Let's also go ahead and bring up the simple browser here so that we can see what we're working with. Great, I can see the current mic icon. Now I'll just hop into the mic icon file, and we'll start doing an on-click event. Perfect, thanks Ghost Text. Now notice that when I do, Copilot actually sees this, and it starts to suggest updates to other parts of the code proactively. All I have to do is hit Tab, and then Tab again, and that's it. This is called Next Edit Suggestions, and it's Copilot taking completions to the next level. Now, Jay, I could go back over to the issue, I could grab the design from Figma, I could start refactoring and writing the route logic, but honestly, you didn't come here to watch me code, they didn't come here to watch me code. We've got a packed keynote full of awesome things, so let's actually scale me up, and let's bring an agent in right here in VS Code. I'll simply pop over into Copilot, and all I have to do is tell Copilot to begin to work on this issue, and just like that, Copilot will actually take care of the rest. It's going to go out and fetch the issue details directly from GitHub. It'll even spot the Figma link, and it'll grab the designs automatically. And check this out, Jay. Look at this. Under References, it's even sure to follow our organization and our code base's best practices. It picked this, the Copilot instructions file up automatically. Now, you're probably thinking at this point, wow, Jessica, this is spectacular. And you are correct. But you also might be wondering, how is this all working? I'm so glad you asked. This is all powered by Model Context Protocol, or MCP. And to keep it simple, MCP enhances our chat experience by giving Copilot more context and access to more tools. You can see those tools here. We can do a wide variety of things with GitHub, and we can even grab the assets directly from Figma. OK, now I can see that agent mode is done. Let's take a look at it.
Wow, that looks spectacular.
This looks pretty great. It's a pixel-perfect match to Figma, and it even has the raised effect. Now, all I have to do is hit Keep, and then if I go over to my source control, I want to show you something else that I really love, is Copilot can actually even finish my commit messages for me, too. It knows exactly what changed, and it knows my commit style, and quite honestly, it saves me from writing fixed stuff or did the thing for the third time today. Now, we could go ahead and publish this and actually submit a PR, but we already know how that part works. So I want to show you something else that's really cool. The issue that you assigned earlier, I know you have a lot of things to cover in the keynote. I'm going to do you a solid, and I want to review this for you. While we were off working in VS Code, Copilot actually already handled the README, and we can take a look and see if it's done, and I believe it is. There we go. We see the files changed. And I'm just going to jump over and look at the rich diff. And look at this. It added quite a bit more things. This is awesome. But I don't think it's perfect. Now, we've talked a lot about accessibility and having some visualization and some other things to enhance it. Yeah. I think it'd be even more powerful if we added an architecture diagram to this.
Good idea.
So I'm going to jump over to the conversation. And honestly, this is why we do code reviews. I'll just jump down here, down at the bottom, and I'll go ahead and tell Copilot that I want to add an architecture diagram using Mermaid.js. Now, check this out. When I hit comment and I scroll up, we'll see Copilot should pick this up pretty quickly, and it'll immediately get to work on the requested changes. There we go. We could jump into the session, but we don't have time to do that. Let me show you what a completed one looks like. Let's take a look here. Look at that mermaid diagram. That's pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
It's pretty great. Now, this is one of my favorite parts because in just a few issues, Copilot helped me move from issue to implementation quickly. And honestly, it handled the stuff that, as developers, usually slows us down. And personally, as a developer, it amplifies me. And as a result, I get to focus on higher impact work and still move fast confidently.
How do I use that in my app?
You know, I am so glad you asked. This is all powered by something called models. And the best part is that I can use these same models in my own apps. In fact, that's what makes this so powerful, is it's not just for GitHub. In fact, everyone in this room can build their own agentic applications too using GitHub models and Azure AI Foundry. We can even pop over and take a look at the different models we have in the playground. And when we click Use this model, we can also take a look at the different languages. And when you scroll down, we'll even give you some code to get started. And I believe we actually have an issue open for that Amanda and Elijah on our team are going to dive more into GitHub models and Azure AI Foundry in just a few moments. Now, just to recap here, in just about 5 minutes, we've tackled 5 issues. How are we doing so far?
We're doing really well. Now, I was looking at last night, though, we had an incident.
We did.
And I was wondering if we should take a deeper look at that, because we may have an issue with this old version of Java in the back end.
I think you're right. And honestly, that's one of the things that's the hardest part about being a developer is things like tech debt like that and figure out how we can address upgrading things like, I believe our backend is using Java 8.
That's right.
And we've talked a lot about how we can upgrade that. Why don't I take a look at the incident, and do you want to take a look at the Java 8
Yeah, let me
upgrade?
get started on that.
Perfect. All right, let me go ahead and switch over here. Now, let's talk about that issue that Jay mentioned. I can see right here that we do have an incident that happened last night. It looks like there was an unhandled exception. And what's cool is I can also see an incident timeline and summary. Now, as I'm scrolling further, I can see that there's a root cause analysis. I can see that there's some attachments. And when I open that issue, when I click the deep link to go over into Azure, I can see the Azure Monitor alert that was detected. I can see it was a Sev2 alert that was fired at 1:57 a.m. Now, this is important, and this is really cool, because the SRE agent from Azure actually did all the work for me. We as developers know that one of the worst things is being paged in the middle of the night and being on call, mainly because at 1:57 in the morning, I don't know about you, but my brain is not booted up. It is sleeping. It is in hibernation state. Luckily, SRE agent was able to address that and handle that super quickly. I can see that it immediately acknowledged the alert at 1:57, and it began the investigation. I can see the activity logs for it. It's starting to form a hypothesis. I can see the log analytics queries. And scrolling down even further, I can see that it finished the investigation. It was looking at the total requests, memory utilization, CPU, and here's where it noticed the spike in those 500 errors. Now, what's also cool is it figured out the deployment and the correlation. So it was able to detect that these 500 errors were related to a faulty deployment. And what's even better is it actually handled the rollback for me, and it continued monitoring it after the fact. Now, this is really important, because if I look at the timestamp here, we're now at 2:02. So in 7 minutes, or 5 minutes actually, I believe, it was able to pick that up, roll it back, handle the monitoring, and I didn't have to get out of bed. What's even more powerful is because it commented in the issue, it only took me about 30 seconds to get caught up on. So this is great. It saved me a lot of time. I didn't have to wake up. And I could go back up to the top of this issue, assign it to GitHub Copilot, and let GitHub Copilot maybe address the code change that broke it. However, Jay, I think we know what the issue is. We really can't put off that Java migration any longer. And as painful as it's going to be, I think we have to tackle it. What are your thoughts?
I think we can tackle it. Actually, Jessica, it doesn't look that bad because I think we can call in Copilot to help us. So check this out.
All right.
So started this project to see what we need to do to upgrade this. And it runs this report for us so we can get just a good landscape as to what we got to do here. So then I can pop over to the Migrate tab here, and it says here we got a couple things to do here, but we've got to upgrade our version of RabbitMQ here to Azure Service Bus.
Okay.
So I'm just going to click the Migrate button here, and GitHub Copilot picks this up. It starts working on this, and we'll see as it's analyzing the project here, you can see that it's looking at different files here. It's coming up with a plan for what it needs to do to go change here.
Okay.
And now it's going to start to go look at a bunch of files here, and you can see, hey, look, there's a couple of Java files here. We got to go do this. So I'm going to hit continue here, and it's going to get to work here, cranking through these files and figuring out what we need to change here. And you can see here, it's going to jam through this, and look at that. So here's a set of changes that Copilot puts out there for us to upgrade here to Azure Service Bus and off of RabbitMQ, and it looks like this is done like pretty fast.
That's amazing. I mean, this just saved us so much time. And here we were thinking, we kept putting that issue off on the backlog, thinking it was just going to take way too long. And I mean, I think that's basically now, what, 7 issues in just about 7 minutes?
Not bad.
It's a pretty good success rate.
Yeah, we should keep it going.
We should. You know, we were actually talking about another issue over lunch last week. I have an idea for it.
Okay.
Why don't I
get to work on that?
Yeah, why don't I work on that?
This?
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
So just to recap here, what you saw from our agent was to help you migrate an old version of Java to a new version of Java. Now, it goes through this phase of planning out what the migration needs to look like, then it executes it, and then it'll summarize this. Now, this doesn't just work for Java, it also works for .NET right here in Visual Studio. So you can see here, the agent is planning out what this upgrade needs to look like. It then starts to execute the upgrade. Now, if it gets stuck, it can prompt the user, me, for hints, and I can take control back. It'll learn from my prompts so that it doesn't make these same errors going forward. So finally, once Copilot is actually done, it can produce a detailed summary of what the changes are so that I can review them, and when I'm ready, I can commit them, test them, and push them to production. Now, we're taking the same framework of plan, execute, and summarize to help also modernize mainframe code. There's billions of lines of COBOL running significant parts of major companies around the world. And it's hard to know what all of this code is doing today. Now, not only will the agent help us document what all of this code is doing, it will also help write a set of unit tests so that when you do the upgrade, you will be able to test the application and making sure it's working correctly. Now, we're still working on this, and this should be available later this year. Now, we have a lot of customers who are taking and getting benefits from the migration agent here. Not only for .NET, but also for Java. They're saving time, and they're able to move faster. Ford was able to also refactor their RabbitMQ code base and upgrade to Azure Service Bus. They did this 3 times faster with GitHub Copilot. So Jessica, how's it going over there?
It's going great. You want to see something really cool?
Yeah, let's check it out.
All right. So last week we were talking about adding a virtual guest book called Memories with an agentic Spotify integration using Azure AI Foundry, right?
Right.
All right. I thought this was going to be super hard. It turns out agent mode, everything is possible. So look at this. I just told Copilot that I want to get to work on issue 44 for the memory service, began to have a normal conversation. It went out and got the issue details from GitHub. It started creating all of these components, and it even told me exactly what it was doing. Scrolling down even further, I told it I wanted to set up Azure Cosmos DB, some Azure Foundry integration, and then it continued with setting all this up. Do you want to see the finished product?
Yeah, let's check it out.
Do you
guys
want to see the finished product? Absolutely. Let's do this. All right, here it is. It's called The Memories. And check this out even more. Seth, who you guys met,
is already here.
He is so on top of it. He was so excited to use it. He's already commented, this event is awesome. And here's what's really cool. Because we know we're at Build, we also have a Windows sound. And guess what? I believe it really works. We can test Copilot's code, but do you want to do the honors?
No, why don't you?
OK, I'll go ahead and do the honors. Everyone ready? awesome. Now, what do you think?
That is excellent, Jessica. So thank you for showing all this off.
You're very welcome. One more thought I did have is, what do you think about dropping the the?
I think should probably just call it.
I think it's cleaner. All right.
All right.
Thank you very much,
Jessica.
Jay.
Great job. Okay, so that's just a glimpse of what we're doing to reimagine this end-to-end development process. We're focused on every phase of this plan, create, and operate cycle. Not only are you going to have a set of AI-driven tools to help you move faster in your own work, but you will have a team of these always-on agents that you're going to be able to orchestrate. Now, best of all, we want to do this and optimize for openness and choice. You all saw the announcement yesterday where we're open sourcing Copilot extension in VS Code. Now, I'm super excited about this because I spent a lot of time in my career helping to drive different open source efforts, both software and hardware. And I know what a great community can do to accelerate adoption of new technology and to drive innovation forward. So yesterday, we also saw and we announced that we are working with OpenAI to integrate the Codex agent directly into the GitHub platform. And today, I'm actually excited to announce that we are working with Anthropic to integrate Cloud Code directly into the GitHub platform as well. So think of GitHub as the organizing layer for your teams of always-on agents. All of your SWE agents, all of your SRE agents, and any other agents that you might be using. It will be the platform where you orchestrate intelligence across the entire software lifecycle. Now, it's the perfect place to do this because GitHub has valuable context and it has the right security measures. Your agents can operate effectively, efficiently, and securely. Openness and choice, that's what all developers want, and that's what we're going to deliver. Now, to wrap up this section, I want to highlight a lot of customers here that are getting benefits from using GitHub Copilot. Now, I especially like what the team at Ramp is doing. Ramp is using Copilot to integrate in their development lifecycle, and they are saving roughly 30,000 hours per month of manual work so that they can ship faster and have fewer blockers as they continue to innovate and build their product. Now, I also want to have you hear from our partner at Cathay Pacific.
Cathay Pacific is the largest airline of Hong Kong and serves over 90 global destinations, and a team of 30,000 people, including over 1,000 software developers. Building and maintaining software is mission critical. With GitHub Copilot and Agent Mode, we are able to save developer time and increase productivity.
To me, it is more than just a tool. It feels like a collaborative partner.
GitHub Copilot helps us to ship faster. I mean, agentic mode is really useful, right? With the multimodal features that we have, gives you a flexibility on how you are going to use that agent mode in a better way.
Innovation at Cathay has taken off with GitHub Copilot.
It's great to see how they're saving so much time and bringing joy back to their development teams. Okay, so let's shift from AI-powered tools to the platform that powers your AI applications and agents. Building an AI-driven product today requires an entirely new set of infrastructure, systems, services, and tools. And that's where Foundry comes in. Foundry is the AI app and agent factory. Now, a bit of a side note here. Earlier this year, I was sharing our vision for Agent Factory with Bill, and he lit up with excitement. He shared with me that when he and Paul started Microsoft 50 years ago, the vision was to create a software factory. It was a company built around smart programmers capable of developing a broad range of software, from tools to applications to operating systems. This was unlike many other companies at the time that were focused on single-purpose applications. We're taking the same approach as we build out Foundry. We're building a full-stack platform for all of your AI applications and agents. So it's pretty awesome to see the parallel here 50 years later. Now, we announced Foundry last fall at Ignite, and we've been working really, really hard to ship features quickly. Now, as Satya mentioned yesterday, more than 70,000 organizations today use Foundry. We ship so many things it's impossible to cover them. And I really hope you take some time to go play with all of the new features and try them out and see what you can build. Now, we're using Foundry ourselves internally as well, and you're going to hear from Charles in a little bit about M365 and Copilot Studio as well, and both of those actually leverage Foundry. I'm not going to have time to cover everything, but I want to jump into three main areas of Foundry here. Today, we're going to cover models and agents, and there's a lot actually to go explore in knowledge or data as well. So here's a couple of things that are really, really exciting to help you understand and how to use these models in very sophisticated ways. First of all, we have this new leaderboard, which will help you pick models. Second, we've actually done an integration with Hugging Face so that you get access to 11,000 more models in addition to the 1,900 models that are in the catalog today. And then we also commit to same-time access. So as OpenAI releases the newest, latest, greatest models, you will have them accessible in Foundry as well. We've added a model router, which will help you select the best model for your prompt in real time. And then there's an integration using MCP into Azure API Management Service. So whatever APIs you've built in your enterprise, you can access them via an agent or an AI application via MCP. As you saw earlier, the GitHub VS Code integration is there, and it's used by 100 million plus developers. We also have a GitHub Models tab to test out your prompts right there. And then also very rich set of functionality to help you customize your models and bring your own data to do whatever you need to do for your specific use case. And finally, we have a distillation capability that will allow you to take a big model, break it down to a smaller model so that you can optimize for cost and for performance. Now, a wide variety of organizations are already using and taking advantage of these capabilities. One example here is the Indiana Pacers. They've built an in-arena, real-time captioning system. And using Foundry, they were able to get the error rate down to just about 1%. So let's hear from our next customer here, Manus, on what they're doing to build with Foundry.
Think of Manus not as a chat interface, but as the world's first self-driving digital operator, an agent defined by action, not advice. It doesn't wait, it senses, then executes. Powered by Azure AI Foundry, Manus is fast, secure, and scales for even the most demanding use cases. From campaign artwork to deep research and custom code, it delivers with precision. With Azure AI Foundry under the hood, we are not just imagining the future of agentic AI, we are building it.
I love what the team at Manus is building. It's really interesting stuff. You should check it out. So now on to the other core area of Foundry, agents. We're seeing a lot of customers build agents of all types to power their business and move forward in this new AI era. Foundry gives you a complete stack of agent capabilities. Let me highlight a few key services that we've been talking about this week that can extend Foundry so that you can provide and build a richer set of agents. First up, Agent Service. Agent Service allows you to create, deploy, and monitor agents at enterprise scale. Second is Agent Catalog. It provides a starter set of templates. So if you want to get started in building an agent, you can jump right into the catalog, use a template, use a recipe, and start to build an agent and iterate from there. Agent Knowledge allows you to bring data from Fabric or from Databricks or from SharePoint and put that together with your agent so your agent can produce or perform more sophisticated tasks. Next up, we have Agent Tools. So we support frameworks such as MCP and A2A, and you have access to 14,000 plus services using those frameworks. Now, we have also frameworks that will allow you to build multi-agent workflows. So you can build very, very complex workflows, automate decision-making in a cohesive and intelligent workforce. Let's take a look how easy it is to build an example of a multi-agent system with Foundry.